I'll see. There it is. There it is. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Synergy TV. And I'm interviewing Lucas Roy Lehman. And we're going to have some fun at the Sexual Embodiment course here in September 24th through 28th. We'll be living in luxury and talking about all of our favorite things. Sex. Just got done making love to my gorgeous wife, so I'm feeling good too. And so Lucas Roy Lehman speaks and leads seminars on personal power and intimacy all over the US, Sweden, and Canada, and obviously Costa Rica. And he's a certified neurotransformational coach, which I'm excited to hear about. He's a certified sacred sexuality educator and author of the forthcoming book, Mastering the 7 Principles of Sex, Mastery, and Power for an Extraordinary Life. Over the past 12 years, Lucas has worked with hundreds of women and men to overcome the obstacles to their emotional fulfillment and financial success. And working through like sex stuff is literally the number one most important thing, because if you don't have that figured out, you don't have intimacy figured out, you don't have love figured out, then the money doesn't even matter at that point. But anyway, he helps people transform old patterns, limiting beliefs, to courageously create the life of your dreams. And he's actually a founding director of the nonprofit Freedom Within Prison Project. And he's dedicated his time over the last 6 years to the transformation of incarcerated men, facilitating weekly trust circles and teaching emotional intimacy and literacy inside the maximum security Salinas Valley State Prison. That's awesome. He's a performing musician for over 40 years and has recorded 4 CDs of his original music, produced his rock musical Prime to 4-star reviews and 18 sold-out performances in LA and New York City, and his powerful presence and speaking creatively bring fresh possibilities to each moment. Mr. Lucas Roy Lehman, that is quite an introduction. I love it.
Thanks. Great to be here.
So what are we doing on this sexual embodiment retreat?
Well, I think we're looking at all the aspects of what does it mean to be sexually embodied and what gets in the way of that. And so there are different layers of that. On the one level, it sounds fairly straightforward. Oh, I'm going to get inside my body and get connected to my sexuality. And of course there is that. But I think more importantly, but equally important is what gets in the way, which is the old limiting beliefs, the disconnect between our heart and our sexuality, the disconnect between our spirit and our sexuality. And then also, I think maybe most importantly, repressed shame around our sexuality and who we are, which is just the universal, we all have it. And even as a teacher, I know I still have it sometimes. So being in touch with that and that's the doorway to, I think, the greatest connection and vulnerability and most powerful sexuality is when we're fully integrated.
Yeah, totally. People love working on their shame. That's like everybody's favorite thing. Like, I want to go work on my shame.
Yeah, no, I hate to bring it up right at the top of the hour, but that's the thing that gets in the way. And it's like, let's go to a beautiful place and get rid of the crap that really gets in the way of us having fantastic lives. What I work with my clients on is it's our experience of our experience, that we could be having this experience, but if underneath it there's all this goop, then we can have all the money and everything else in the world and we're still miserable. So it's important stuff.
Yeah, and shame's one of those things that people are like, nah, I don't have any shame, I'm good. Right. So what is one or two ways that people can actually recognize the way that shame shows up in our life?
Well, shame shows up in the belief that there's something wrong with me. And so if I'm not meeting the partners that I want, and I go into that story, oh, there's something wrong with me, or if only I lost 20 pounds, then I would be okay. That's the realization that where I am is not okay, and I got to get to over there to be okay. That's shame hiding out, and that I'm not lovable, and then it shows up in all kinds of behaviors of addictions and ways that we sort of numb out, that we don't actually want to be with ourselves.
Cool. Yeah. So obviously you have to clear the shame first by recognizing these things. And then we can start building intimacy and creating that sexual embodiment. So what are some of the exercises and processes that you're going to be walking people through here first to clear shame and then to create that sexual embodiment?
Right. Well, the first place is to really start, I think, expanding the experience of being in our bodies, and that being in our bodies actually includes our energy bodies, and that's really magical and gives a sense of like, oh, I'm more than what I'm used to being. And I think that's a real great support, like, because we're used to, I'm small, or I'm not this or that, but just suddenly like out the gate, you're like, oh, whoa, I'm way bigger than I thought, and I'm way more sensitive than I thought, and I can feel that person. So that's a start. And then the next place is going to be, how do we be present and notice what we're feeling and be okay noticing that we feel lots of different things at the same time, some of them contradictory. Then there would be practices just getting in touch with connecting our heart and our sex center, breathing practices to expand our sense of presence and connection with spirit, and then obviously some practices dealing with the actual emotional healing of the old stories.
Cool. And so now teaching sexual healing, sexual embodiment, sexual energy can be really hard for people to accept that, like accept an invitation to come learn this stuff, often because of traumas that create projections of what may happen or what it might look like or how it might be uncomfortable. And so what can you tell people about how you make this a comfortable process? And like maybe people love to hear about like what kind of clear boundaries there are.
Right. Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I think that's part of the exploration here. First of all, totally safe container. No one's going to be doing sex in the room. There's going to be agreements for sure. And the most important thing about this is how do we create trust to open up to whatever degree someone feels safe to reveal themselves. Intimacy is all about seeing who I am, and that includes seeing the parts of me that I don't like, and sharing that is so healing. I lost my train of thought.
Cool. All good. So, so like when my wife and I do sessions with people, like we have very specific things that we do to create boundaries. Like, what are the ways that people are going to feel safe? Like, how do people feel so safe? Because obviously, like, we have to heal the shame in ourselves and the weirdness around sexuality ourselves. And we're just tuning forks. We bring this conversation to people.
Right.
And we attune them, and you're very clearly a clear channel. Like I see you, I look at you, and I don't see someone with
right.
around sex.
Well, one of the most important things is for people to find their voice and to be able to know that they're at choice. And so that would be part of the practice too. I actually do like it's almost a meditation practice where you walk around the room and you just say no, and the other person says no back to you, and you see what that feels like, of like, oh, where do I start? And again, with that kind of the energy body, where do I start and this other person ends, and to really start to get clear on, there's my boundary, and that I only say yes if it's 100% yes. A 92% yes is actually a no, and that's where we get our power, and that everyone's in agreement that what's most important is that I'm supporting this other person in being in their integrity and their power, that I don't have some agenda to make something happen. And I think that's where sex typically goes off the rails, where intimacy goes off the rails, is that there's an agenda to get to some goal, as opposed to the goal being, let's be connected to the place that feels appropriate for this moment, and to be able to speak that. That's real power. That's sexual embodiment. It doesn't mean I'm having sex with this person, but I'm a sexual being owning my space and my integrity and my voice.
Yeah, that's beautiful. So what is your, like, in order to get all that, because obviously people want that. Right. So what is your favorite exercise or technique or thing that you're going to be walking people through while they're here that will help them achieve that?
I think it's going to be really this sense of connecting to their energy body. So definitely some kind of their kind of qigong, tai chi exercises, I would call them. Also connecting heart and sex center breath work exercises to really get this experience of myself bigger than what I'm used to, my little brain and my little thoughts swirling around with all the judgments and all that, but to expand it into this integration of spirit and heart and sex. And at that point, I'm safe. I'm safe in my know. I'm connected to God. I can let you see me to the degree that feels comfortable. Also, definitely like eye gazing is a real powerful exercise because it brings up our discomfort. So we want to get comfortable being uncomfortable. We want to get comfortable saying, hey, I'm uncomfortable right now. That's hugely powerful because we're so used to like, oh, don't want to say anything that's going to upset the other person. And then you're down the road to not real intimacy. You're not actually connecting to what's going on. You're connecting to what you think the other person wants to be, and then you're doomed.
Yeah. So what's the number one thing that you feel like people are going to leave here with that is so important for them in their entire life?
I'm worthy of love, my own self-love. I love myself just as I am, and I'm worthy of my own love. And then from that place, the experience of that's the doorway of getting more love and respect from other people is the degree that I learned that I'm whole right now.
How can anyone else love you if you can't love yourself?
Right. Yeah.
Beautiful.
And that we may have things that we're working on, but we're not broken and we're not and we're whole now, and we're going to be more whole tomorrow, because the whole actually can include the parts of ourselves that, well, I don't love that part of me, or I don't like that part of me, but I can love that part of me and accept that part of me. And that's super sexy. That's the sexiest thing of all, is that the person feels, here I am, I love myself and I love you. Let's play.
Perfect. Okay, awesome. So I know you have some goodies for people if they come to see you specifically. So what do you got?
Well, so I want to offer anyone who wants to come through me to come to the program to do a 50-minute intimacy breakthrough session to begin the conversation, begin the process, get clarity on what it is that you want to have transformed over the time that you're in Costa Rica, and really begin that connection of being seen for the beautiful creature that you really are.
Oh, that's awesome. How much do you usually charge for that call?
Usually that's a $500 value, and so I'm offering that for free.
Damn, that's a good one. And you also have a coupon?
I have a coupon. Oh, right. That if you go through the Synergita website, the workshop is $2,500, and I have a coupon to save you an additional $500. So come through me and let's play in Costa Rica.
Cool. And also, so the lowest price option at the Synergita website is $2,500. The highest price option for the master suites, the luxury pimped out suites with bathtubs and with cool disco lights and stuff, is $6,500, and it includes 2 people. So if you're in a partnership and you want to come, you can use this coupon and get $500 off and come for $6,000, which turns out to be $3,000 a person. So anyway, and it includes food, gourmet food, and all the magic that this place has to offer. Sitting here under the largest chandelier in Costa Rica, and all kinds of goodness. I mean, this is a place you want to come to be wide open and learn about some sexual embodiment from the masters. So thanks so much, LucasRoyLehman.com, Intimacy Makeover. It's been fun, and I'm really looking forward to shaking your hand here in person.
All right, looking forward to it. Thanks, Ben.
Ciao, buddy.